Greetings everyone, in this video I'm trying out the cheapest DIY fuel injector cleaning kit available on Amazon. This is everything that comes in the kit. You've got two sets of these leads for the two common types of gasoline fuel injectors. I thought these alone were worth what I paid for the kit. If you were to get the pigtail separately to match your fuel injector and some alligator clips, I mean, you're probably pretty quickly going to spend 11 bucks on its own. So for the price, this is a really nice little setup. Also, you get two of these contraptions. This is essentially what's going to allow you to spray carb cleaner through the fuel injectors. The fuel injector goes in these holes here. There's two different sizes again, and the bottom side goes into the can, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But again, for 11 bucks, I mean, this is a nice little kit. So the items you'll need to provide are carb cleaner. I went with AutoZone brand. It was under like $2.50 a can. That was pretty sweet. You'll want some rubber gloves to try to keep the carb cleaner off of your hands. Stuff's not the best thing for your skin, obviously. A shop towel to clean up any spray that gets out of hand, and also I'll show you what else you can use that for in a second. And please put something over your eyes, even if it's just a Dollar Tree cough sneeze guard. The stuff can end up everywhere in this process. And you do not want carb cleaner in your eyes. Ask me how I know. It sucks. And lastly, you want a DC 12 volt power supply. I'm using a lawn tractor battery. You could also use your car battery if you want to. Essentially, we need something to send a signal to the injector and give it power to open so that the carb cleaner can flow through the injector and hopefully do some sort of cleaning. Alright, hopefully my choice of microphone allows you to still hear me even though I've got the fan going. There is one thing I forgot to mention that I recommend having, and that is just the tiniest bit of motor oil to help to lubricate the O-rings on your injectors. There's going to be an O-ring on each end. This is the end that it sprays out of. This is the end that connects, goes into the fuel rail, and having just a dab of motor oil around those O-rings is going to make it easier, for one, to reinstall them back in the car, and then also to slide them into your, still don't know what this is called. Then you're going to take your fuel injector and your pigtail from your power cord. It is nice, they indexed it so it can only go the right way, and you plug that in. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hook up your battery. Of course, black goes to negative, red goes to positive. Key here though, do not connect these and just leave both of them on there. You will likely burn out the little electromagnetic coil inside the injector. So what you got to do is connect your negative, and then you're going to take your positive connector and you're just going to tap it on the post. And then little short taps, just like this. Don't get tempted, don't clamp it down on there. Injectors are not cheap. That's why we clean them instead of buying new ones. So don't do that. Just little tap, tap, tappy, tap, tappy, tap, 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 tap. You should hear the injector opening and closing. Let me show you what that sounds like. Let me put it next to the microphone if it'll reach. So you should hear that sound. That's one way to know that it actually works. Should make some kind of noise. Now I got to move the battery around out of frame. Tapping that on that post does produce the tiniest little spark. So please do not spray your carb cleaner in the direction of your battery while you're tapping that. It's a good way to start a fire, possibly. Wouldn't be cool. This is a fuel injector cleaning kit, not a flamethrower kit, all right? So I've got my battery moved out of the way. I've also got my face shield on if you can't hear the difference. So you're going to take your injector and you're going to insert the end that the fuel would flow through into your hole on the unnamed white thing, like so. Okay, so there you go. Now we've got a way for the carb cleaner to flow through, come out the injector. We've got power to activate the injector. Now we just got to connect it to our carb cleaner. So the way that this is designed is that you take a tiny hole down on the bottom, you remove your spray nozzle, usually red spray cap, from the carb cleaner, and then that little thing there is going to fit down into the unnamed thing. And then now when you push down on the fuel injector and this unnamed thing, carb cleaner will flow through, and then we'll use the battery to activate the injector. So now we've taken the white thing, we've put it on the can, got the towel kind of wrapped around to contain the explosion of carburetor cleaner that is inevitable. Now we've got to harness all the grip strength that we have, push the injector back into the white thing, and then press everything down onto the spray nozzle on the can while taking our positive lead and tapping it on the battery to activate the injector, which if all goes well, should go something like this. And there's all the carb cleaner spraying out like I was talking about. So that's the kit and the basics of how it's used, but before I go any further, I want to point out that, in my opinion, this kit should be a last resort. If all you're looking to do is clean your fuel injectors as part of a regular maintenance routine, which, by the way, I highly recommend doing, I recommend just using a fuel additive, something like Berryman's, or if you prefer, another additive. In the vast majority of vehicles out there, using an additive is going to do plenty of cleaning, and it's a whole lot easier to pour something in the tank than it is to remove fuel rails and fuel injectors. Also, using an additive is going to clean more than just your fuel injectors, so things like your intake valves will get a little bit of attention too. That being said, the primary benefit that I saw out of purchasing this kit was being able to assess the function of the fuel injectors on a vehicle that had a lot of miles, and also that I had left in storage for a number of years and finally gotten back on the road. This inexpensive kit allowed me to confirm that all of my injectors were indeed opening, they weren't clogged or leaking, and I was able to do so more quickly than having to send my injectors out in the mail or drive them to a distant vendor, which to me was easily worth the 11 bucks that the kit cost. But even so, I'm still hesitant to recommend that you try a kit like this for yourself. On one hand, I know that for a lot of people right now, sending injectors out to be professionally cleaned might be cost prohibitive, and a kit like this is really inexpensive. I will also say that my 240,000 mile car that sat for 4 years without being started ran better after using this kit and idled smoother. So I do feel that I got some value out of this kit besides just entertaining myself for a couple hours. But to be realistic, as far as actual cleaning goes, on the average lower mileage vehicle, I don't really see that this process, that this kit would offer any advantage over just using a fuel additive as part of regular maintenance. And to be fair, this kit absolutely does not compare to the cleaning process that a fuel injector goes through in a professional cleaning. The machines used by professional vendors to clean fuel injectors are far more complex, and they may cycle an injector thousands of times while it's fed a solvent that's much more appropriate than carb cleaner. In addition to that, most vendors will also flow test each injector to ensure that every single one is delivering precisely the correct amount of fuel, which is important really for any vehicle, but especially important if you're pushing your engine to make a lot of power. Because when you're pushing an engine to make a lot of power and one injector or more goes lean at the wrong time, that can get expensive real fast. So my official recommendation is, if you suspect that you're having fuel injector problems, it's best to just go ahead and have them professionally serviced. If you insist on trying a kit like this for yourself, do so at your own risk, and please be careful. Don't get carb cleaner in your eyes or set yourself or your garage on fire, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least found it informative. If you did, make sure you hit the like button so that YouTube knows to share it with others, and hit the subscribe button as well for more automotive DIY content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.